Today we are making a lemony yellow rice in the Instant Pot. I'm Sam from Bites of Wellness. Come and cook with me. The base of this yellow rice is onions. It gives the dish a depth of flavor, and it's pretty simple to just go ahead and saute your onions right in the Instant Pot before you add the rest of the ingredients. If you don't have time for that, or you don't care to do that step, you can also use dried minced onions. I use that in a pinch all the time. Just throw about 2 tablespoons in with the rest of the ingredients, and you can skip this step completely. It really helps save some time. But for this recipe, I want to show you the really delicious version. This is one of my mom's favorite dishes, and it starts by, we have to wait for this to heat up, but we're going to start by sauteing the onions in the Instant Pot. It just takes about 2 or 3 minutes. To make sure that the onions don't stick, we want to add some kind of spray. I'm using avocado oil spray. You could also use about half a tablespoon to a tablespoon of oil. I'm just going to add the onions in. You want to hear that sizzle. And they're going to saute for just a minute or two. And I highly recommend that you use a wooden spoon, nothing plastic, in the Instant Pot. It gets really hot in here. And once this gets done cooking, we're going to scrape down the bottom, and the best thing to do that with is a wooden utensil. Just going to let that cook for a minute or two. At this stage, you want to turn off the saute function of your Instant Pot and just let the onions cook for a minute or two more. You want them to get a little bit golden brown, but not too much. You can see at the bottom of the Instant Pot, see these brown bits here? That's a lot of flavor, but it will also cause a burn notice, so we don't want to intensify it browning anywhere else. So as soon as you start to see those, go ahead and turn off the Instant Pot, off the saute mode, and just move the onions around a little bit more. Again, just another minute or two until they get kind of this like light brown, translucent. You just want to make sure that they have cooked a little bit, because otherwise they're going to be really crunchy against that super tender, soft rice, and it's going to be a huge contrast versus if you spend the time now to cook these down, they will soften enough to just kind of blend in with the rice and make it a complete dish instead of these contrasting textures that are competing for the attention. So once we have this done, the next step is to take a little bit of the water that's going to be for the entire recipe and deglaze the bottom of the Instant Pot. And all that means is you add water in and then move your wooden utensil around. Most of it will come right off like you saw, but we just want to make sure that there are no brown bits at the bottom, because as soon as we turn this on, it will throw a burn notice and it may not come up to pressure because of that. So this is an annoying but very necessary step. So just take an extra second. You just want to move everything around. If you see any extra dark brown bits, you just want to scrape them up, and that's it. We're done. It's that simple. We're just going to throw a bunch of ingredients in our Instant Pot now. This is the fun part. I've got 2 cups of rinsed brown jasmine rice. You could also use basmati rice, but this has already been rinsed off. Just want to make sure there's not a ton of extra starch on there, so I like to rinse it. We're going to add our spices, which are salt, garlic powder, and turmeric. So just a quick tip, turmeric will stain pretty much anything it touches, so I do not recommend making this in a white shirt that you love, or putting your utensils on white things that you want to stay white, because it will stain everything yellow. So wearing all black for a reason, okay? This will stain. We're just going to add that in. And it can stain wooden utensils too. So at this point, if you want to move to like a silicone or metal, I would advise that as well, especially if you have utensils that you really love and want them to stay the color that they were. So we've got all that in there. I'm going to add some water, the rest of the water. So this was 2 cups of rice, brown rice, so we need 3 cups total water. And then the fun part, this is a lemon turmeric rice, so we need lemon. A lot of flavor comes from the actual zest of the lemon. So you get lots of flavor from the juice, but the zest has those essential oils that are really delicious. So we are going to spend some time to zest it. This is an old school zester, but you only want to get the yellow part. So you can see I'm just taking off that very top layer. I'm not going any deeper. Underneath this is what they call the pith of the lemon, and that is the part that's kind of like bitter, that does not have any flavor that you want to add to the dish. So we're just going to go around the lemon and just try our best to get as much of the bright yellow parts off while leaving all the pith behind. And you definitely want to do this part before you cut your lemons. It is so hard. I've tried it. Don't recommend it. It's very hard to zest your lemons once they're cut. So got that one. Gonna repeat that again. I don't know if you can see all the essential oils kind of spraying off here. And always make sure you get it off the back. And then the same lemons that you just took the zest off of, you want the juice from both of the lemons in here. So we've got all the ingredients in the Instant Pot now. It is kind of important to just take a second and make sure everything is submerged in the water. And then the easiest part of this is all you do is put the lid on. You're going to set the Instant Pot to 7 minutes high pressure with that brown jasmine rice. If you're using a white rice instead, you actually can cut the time down to 3 minutes. There's instructions on the website on different water and things like that that you also need to think about with white rice, but you can also use white rice in this recipe. So I've let this come down from pressure. It's naturally released. We're just going to open up and see what everything looks like. There's not quick tip. I'm sure you know this already, but you have a handy little rest here. I'm gonna move it, but I figured I'd show you that in case you weren't aware. And when you first open this, it may look a little bit wet when you stir it, but it'll quickly turn off. So I'm just gonna stir this up. It's nice and bright, very flavorful smelling. It's very fragrant, I should say. Lots of lemon, a little bit of that turmeric smell. But we're done. Rice is ready. So the great thing about this is that it is a great dish to make for a meal prep or planning ahead for a big meal. It feeds a ton of people. You can easily double this recipe. One thing I will say is that it also freezes really well. So you can make a big batch, throw half in the freezer, and then you've got a good, delicious side dish anytime. This is one of those dishes where you're not really sure if everybody's gonna love it, but I served it, actually made a batch for my family to taste before I put it up. And we were like eating rice. Me and my mom and my sister were like eating rice out of the Instant Pot together. It's so good. So really hope you try it. I know you'll love it once you do. If you want to serve this on like family style and make it look a little bit prettier, you can always add just a tiny little bit of cilantro chopped up, or you could use fresh parsley, whatever you prefer. This pairs really well with a lot of different dishes. It almost has that yellow rice taste if you're used to when you're little, like yellow rice with your tacos, but that lemon is so bright and so flavorful. It also pairs well with a lot of Middle Eastern dishes. So I like to make this into grain bowls. I like to serve it alongside of tacos. I use it instead of like cilantro lime rice. I use this instead in like burritos and burrito bowls. So I really hope that you taste it and love it. So here's the best part of cooking all day is eating the delicious food. So this is the perfect, again, it's a perfect side dish for so many things. That lemon is really bright and flavorful. It really adds a lot of like depth and interest to a otherwise very boring rice dish. The turmeric has that kind of earthy flavor, and the onions add that base layer of just umami. It's delicious. I really recommend you trying this. Again, this would pair really well with both like Mexican type flavors and Mediterranean or Middle Eastern flavors. So hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you make it in the comments below and give us a follow. Have a great day. If you love this recipe and want to see more healthy, delicious meals, make sure that you follow us on your favorite social media platform. It's going to be 7 minutes on, can't see the front, but I promise you 7 minutes. Hi. Now I'm rambling. Hi. Okay.